You engage your eyes to see the beauty of the deity, Krishna. You engage your tongue for tasting Krishna Prasada. You engage your legs to come to this temple. You engage your hands to work for Krishna. You engage your nose to smell the flowers offered to Krishna.
There is an entire chapter of Chaitanya Charitamrita where Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is doing nothing but glorifying the power of prasad, the mercy of prasad. With tears in his eyes, he is describing how cannot you understand that this food has been tasted and is decorated with the saliva of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. There's no power greater on earth than the mercy of God. Prasad means mercy of God. It's fully manifesting. Srila Prabhupada used to say, even if the most sinful of all sinners takes prasad even once in his life, he's guaranteed human birth in his next life. Otherwise, he would have gone to the lowest species. This is the power of prasad. And in America, we teach vegetarian cooking classes, and we see right before our eyes the power of prasad. Unbelievable.
I returned Coke bottles for the 5-cent deposits to buy food with. And I would walk the 7 miles across town every Sunday night to get one good meal a week at the Hare Krishna temple. I loved it.
Vegetarianism is one of the most important aspects of a Krishna-conscious lifestyle. Devotees try to cause the least amount of suffering possible to other living beings. This is called ahimsa in Sanskrit. It's the principle of non-violence. Prabhupada and his followers have contributed tremendously to the fact that vegetarianism is much more popular now and has even become somewhat mainstream.
Srila Prabhupada gave many activities by which devotees could enjoy Krishna consciousness. Deity worship, Harinam, book distribution. But prasadam is special because it's so easy for everyone to accept. All glories to His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, who gave us the higher taste.
If we get opportunity, we can give sumptuous prasad. We are doing that in all other centers throughout the whole world. Simply by eating one can be devoted. It doesn't require. If he simply eats Krishna prasad, it is so nice method. Chanting and hearing, this is recommended here. So the beginning is, you have to make a determination. Number one sense, the tongue, you try to control by eating Krishna prasadam and chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Thank you.
That you can overcome lower taste by higher taste. So let's say, for example, one is addicted to smoking or one is addicted to certain kinds of drugs. I have had many students of mine who have had issues with drugs. In fact, one person specifically, he was not only addicted to drugs, he was addicted to stealing, he was addicted to, all kinds of things. And one day he just walked in to the temple, shook my hands, he's a Russian person, and I said, what can I do for you? He said, I have all these problems. I have addictions in different ways. I said, come to my house, we'll talk. And he would keep coming, I would listen to his problems, we would talk, we'd have nice discussions. And he said, oh, well, you listen to me, you helped me so much, I learned Bhagavad Gita from you. Why don't I do something for you? And in my house in Chicago, there's a swimming pool. I said, why don't you teach me how to swim? He said, sure, I'll teach you how to swim. And so, we built this friendship. And eventually, he would teach me how to swim while I teach him Bhagavad Gita. And he was experiencing a higher taste as he was chanting the holy name of Krishna. And this relationship of ours was very much Krishna-centric. I had nothing to gain from him, he had nothing to gain from me, but Krishna consciousness. And as our friendship developed, he was able to slowly overcome his drug addiction, his stealing problem. In fact, one day, he was on the second floor of my house, and there's a Bose speaker and some very expensive things. And I went to my third floor. He said, Avello, you know my problem. Don't leave me alone here. I might just take one of your things. I said, go ahead. I don't care. It's all right. I trust you. Of course he didn't take anything. And the fact that I was trusting him meant a lot to him. And eventually, this person who had addiction to drugs and stealing is now working for the Chicago Police Department. He's a changed person. He's a different human being. And his strength is his love for the holy name of Krishna. The chanting of Krishna's holy name can give us such higher taste that with which we can overcome lower tastes. And if he can do it, trust me, each one of us can do it. Unless we try it, we don't know. A lot of time the mind tells us, oh, it's all book knowledge. It doesn't actually happen. Trust me. Have you tasted gulab jamun? After tasting gulab jamun, can you taste anything else? It is so sweet. That's exactly how spirituality is. Real spirituality. Not the cheating stuff that you see on TV. Real Bhagavad Gita from the right disciplic succession. And that's what ISKCON stands for. We are here to give you things unaltered, unchanged, just like Arjun received it. That's what we are receiving through the disciplic succession of Guru Shishya Parampara. When you get that real spiritual knowledge, you taste the higher taste, and with which you can overcome all kinds of addictions, all kinds of phobia, all kinds of fault-finding mentality. Whatever that pulls us down into lower modes, into lower mentality, Krishna's holy name and Krishna consciousness can uplift us from all of that. And that's what it's called.
Prabhupada once said that prasadam is Lord Chaitanya's secret weapon, meaning that if a person's not inclined to hear philosophy, or the person's not inclined to chant, I don't know how because the chanting's so nice, whatever the case, everyone likes to eat. And our Krishna prasadam, our foodstuffs in this movement is very tasty. Yamuna Devi made sure of that when she learned from Srila Prabhupada how to cook prasadam, and she made that all-famous wonderful cookbook, which will be the standard, I think, for the next 10,000 years. Prasadam. It's so tasty, it's so nourishing, it's so fulfilling. And the most important thing about prasadam is that it's blessed. It's vegetarian food stuff offered to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. One little story I'll end with that I always like about Ramanujacharya from Sri Sampradaya. One time he was taking prasad next to the Kaveri River, and some Pashangis, some atheists came by, and they were making a joke. They were saying, that sadhu, Ramanujacharya, he says that those vegetables have a transcendental nature to them because they're offered to God. They were joking like that. So Ramanujacharya, he took a little bit of that prasad and he threw it into the Kaveri River. Everyone saw it. And some fish came, 6 or 7 fish, and they nibbled on that prasadam from the plate of Ramanujacharya. Immediately those fish assumed their four-armed, eternal Vaikuntha forms. And they were no longer fish. They rose from the water and they ascended to Vaikuntha in their four-armed forms. That's prasadam.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
You should take prasadam. Krishna bada dayamay, paribare jivha jay, sab prasad anna dilo bhai. Sei prasad anna pao, Radha Krishna guna gao, premi rako chaitanya. Krishna bada, our tongue is the greatest enemy. First of all, engage your tongue. Sevan mukhi hi jivhado, sameva spuratam. Two business only. To taste or eat and chant. Chant Hare Krishna with tongue and take Krishna prasadam. He'll conquer Krishna. Because prasad is transcendent. It is not a material thing. So one must have faith that it is not material. It cannot be infected by any material things. In this way, prasad should be done. It is called prasada seva. Prasad is as good as Krishna. Therefore, prasad should be respected as good as Krishna. So, those who are attached to Krishna consciousness movement and those who are attached in the service, they should take prasadam, first class prasadam. Everyone likes the taste of the prasadam. Then we will remember Krishna, and that will keep us fit and immune from all infection of material miserable condition.
Hare Krishna